All right, looks like we're going to go live. Hi, everybody. That's great. Thanks, Nancy, and thanks for posting the link. And hi, Catherine. I'm just trying to see who's here. So we've got Nancy and Catherine and Kathy and Nicole and Lindiana. We're getting a good crowd. Yay. Okay. So, and Murphy's here, of course, as usual. And if I turn over this way, there's Frankie. She's sitting there waiting as well. So I am okay. So a couple of things before we start. Thanks everybody so much for being here. And yeah, so okay, Murphy, you got to go. All right, you be a good boy. You got to say hi to everybody. All righty. So number one goal is to follow the pattern and not have any issues. I've been going over this. I have made so many crystal convertibles from Lynn's Handmade, and it's a great pattern, and I love it. In fact, I love taking it with me to my craft shows because I can throw a bunch of stuff that I need in the bag, and then I've got it on my back like a backpack. So yeah, so the goal today is to not mess anything up like when I made the Polly's purses. So anyhow, and I've got a new camera angle. I'm trying different things. So anyhow, if you're not familiar with the crystal convertible from Lynn's Handmade, this is it. This is the very first one that I made. This was made with dark brown Mora faux leather. Let me bring my light a little bit more here. So this was made with the dark brown Mora faux leather and then the tan Mora faux leather as an accent. Now this holds a lot. This particular bag has a back zipper pocket that goes in sideways and a slip pocket for your phone. And then it has a zipper pocket inside and then a double zip, slip pockets inside on the other wall. I made this particular one with double zippers and I put tassels on. Now, if you're going to make it with tassels, this was the first one I made, and I really love the look of the tassels. Don't put your bag tag in the center because the tassels cover it up and you can't see it. So put it off to one side. And the bag that we're going to make today is, of course, the Krystal, but I am not adding this zipper pocket on the back. I'm going to just center the slip pocket, and on the inside, there's going to be a zipper pocket on each side, just because I wanted to make it different, I guess. So who else have we got? Okay, so we have Lindiana, Nancy, Joni, and Valerie is here. And Diane from West Virginia, and she wants to know what state you're in. If you're asking about me, Diane, I am in Wasaga Beach, Ontario, Canada. I'm not in the US. And we've got Kathy Myers here. We've got quite a few. That's great. Oh, and Barbie's here. She's watching from the pool. It's still cold here. So Barbie, who is Jeannie's Designs, is here as well, and she's watching from the pool. I'm surprised Murphy didn't hear me say Barbie's name and come running. So hi, thanks a lot, guys, all for being here. So this is the Krystal Convertible. This is a great, great bag. So what we're doing today, like I said, my goal is to not mess the pattern up. So this is the exterior fabric that I am using. Isn't that gorgeous? This is what I got from our local Walmart here in Wasaga Beach. And it's this gorgeous velvety grays and kind of a seafoamy green. I already put my bag tag on the front. Not in the center because I am going to be making tassels. So this is the exterior of it. And I have already interfaced it with Emmeline Bags EB Fuse Heavy Woven. It's wrinkled on the inside just because of the fact of this texture when I was ironing it on. So that's the exterior. And this is the contrasting exterior. So the colors are just like the bag that I made as the tester bag for Jeannie's, the Jeannie bag by Jeannie's Designs. So these are the same colors that I use. I love it. If I can get more of these colors from Walmart, I'm stocking up. But this is, this vinyl is from Walmart as well. And it's a beautiful gray blue. And of course, my favorite color may be purple, but I love the look of sea foam and bluey, greeny grays. Clearly, everything's that color in here. It's just so calming and beautiful, and I love it. So this is the base. I have already made the straps, and I've already sewn them on to the base, wrong side up. I've already added my purse feet. Now, the base on the exterior, I have already, I used 2 layers of the Emmeline Bag EB Fuse Heavy Woven, ironed them on, and then I put a layer of the By Annie's Soft and Stable Sew-In foam to give it a little bit more structure. And then in the pattern, there's instructions for sewing just 1/8 of an inch all the way around, just to make sure everything gets held in. My interior fabric is from Sam Fabric Creation, of course. And this is going to be the interior. Now, my last live when I did the Polly's Purse Plus, I kept saying that I was using waterproof vinyl for the lining, and it's waterproof nylon and from Sam Fabric. So I apologize for that as well. But this is waterproof nylon, and I think it's called bonded nylon, and it has the PVC back. So this is going to be a bit more of a structured feel bag than the original Krystal that I made. Like this one, I have a big tea towel or something in here. This one is really squishy, and I can take this and just squish it right down to nothing, and it has a lot of flexibility. But the one that I'm making is going to be a little bit more structured. I'm sure that as I use it, because it is going to be my bag. Where's my t-shirt, Barbie? That says, I think this is going to be my bag. Anyhow, so there's the internal or interior lining from Sam Fabric Creation in Quebec. I love using using Louise's vinyls, or not vinyls, the waterproof nylons for my lining, because then I don't have to interface it. It was a lot for me to have to interface the exterior and that. Now I have gone ahead and already made a few things. So I've already made my 2 D-ring connectors and sewn them. So they're all ready to go. And I've got Murphy in here and Frankie, and they're going to start fooling around. I've already made my zipper, my center zipper. Hold on. They're worse than kids. Frankie, she's trying to get in a paper bag. Anyhow, I've already done my zippers. And I'm going to be making the tassels as well. So I've already made 1 tassel. And then I have already, so when I cut out my fabric, it looks like a little hula skirt or grass skirt. When I cut out my fabric, I just use my 6x6 square ruler. And then I mark on the underside, I mark a 1/2 inch down, and then I take my rotary blade and just cut strips, 1/8 of an inch wide strips all the way up. And then we're going to make that together at the end. Now we're going to start, I don't need that. So the first thing that we're going to work with, also before I forget, so the interior, like I said, we've got the interior lining is from Sam Fabric. Now I've already gone and done one side, and I've already made the 1 zipper placket, and I've already made the zipper pocket, and we're going to do the other side as well together. But the first thing we're going to do, and now here's Frankie. And she just loves it. It's, you know, when your kids were little, when my kids were little, Brenna and Ashley, you know, I would get on the phone. They were fine. They were quiet, whatever. And then as soon as the phone rang and I got talking on the phone, then they would start fighting with each other right in front of me. And that's what Murphy and Frankie do. They're just like the kids. All righty. So we're going to start with, because I'm not doing that back exterior with the vertical zipper, we're going to start with the exterior slip pocket, and I'm making that out of the fabric, the exterior fabric. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Okay, we've got Kathy and we've got. Oh no, I don't know if Louise is here, but there's and Jan's here. Hey Jan, she's also one of Barbie's admins. So I'm hoping to catch everybody. Now with this fabric, I have it going a certain way. So it looks, because it has a nap to it. And if you look at it this way, it has a different look to it. It looks more silvery when I look at it. And I kind of want to see that it has a darker look. So that's the right way. So what we have done is in the pattern and this is interfaced with the EB Fuse heavy woven from Emmeline bags. So I have put double-sided tape on either of the raw edges. There's a line, there's a marked line to draw down each side in the pattern. Now I'm just going to move you guys and move my camera down. You're not going to be able to see me because I'm tilting everything right down. And I want to make sure that I can see you guys have the best view of what I'm doing. All right, that looks good from my end. And also my audio should be better, because when I was doing the playback, and I can't remember who said it in the last live I did, because they couldn't hear my sewing machine. And so I went through, I started playing with my own little test YouTube lives that were private, and to try and figure out my audio, because when I listened to the audio, it kept cutting in and out. It kept sounding like that it was, somebody had said it was like noise reduction or something was on, and that they couldn't hear the sewing machine. And when I listened to the playback, it sounded awful. And I couldn't figure out why, because when I record, everything's fine. And Jan's sewing. That's great. Hi, Cynthia. I hope I got to say hi to everybody so far. So anyhow, I went into the settings and I finally found what the issue was. Sorry, excuse me. So hopefully the issue has been solved, and I won't sound like I'm cutting in and out, or there's a split-second delay. I also forgot to mention the thread that I'm using is Tex 45. It's from Emmeline Bags. It's the Fusion nylon bonded Tex 45 thread, and the color that I'm using is in Blue Jay. So we're going to take the double-sided tape off. This is, the slip pocket. We're going to take the double-sided tape off. The one thing about this exterior fabric is, that's why I'm coughing, it sheds horribly. And I've got fibers everywhere. They're going up my nose. I hope I don't have a sneezing fit. So I'll just take the double-sided tape backing off, and then we'll fold those raw edges up to this line. And this really, like this phrase, it really sheds. So the back part is going to be very easy, because we're just going to attach this on to the back after we fold this up. Okay, shake it off because it's just shedding. So with right sides together, I'm just folding it up just like this. And I'll just clip it. And then I'm going to sew at the seam allowance in the pattern the top raw edges. Holy smokes. See what I mean? Like it just shreds, but it's so pretty. All right, so we're just going to sew that at the seam allowance in the pattern. Make sure all your edges are lined up, and then we'll turn it. I can't get it under my foot. You should be able to hear the sewing machine now. Although it's a very quiet machine. My jack is so quiet. It's wonderful. I guess it's the servo motor I have. Okay, so we're just going to flip that, turn that. And this will make a really nice slip pocket for the back and for my phone. I probably, jeez. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to take the back piece of the exterior, and I've already got my center marked down here at the bottom, and I'm going to go up about 1 inch from the bottom and center that on, and I'm hoping to find the spot that might line up with those circles. Oh, that almost does. That's about 1 inch, and I just want to make sure that that's centered. Oh, first I have to top stitch across the top here. And the bottom of this pocket is the seam that we sewed. Okay, so then I'm just going to make sure I've got this lined up on the line. I have to come up a bit. Okay, and I'll just measure to make sure that it's the same distance away from either side. Just to come over a bit to the left. And been working on, my mom's landlord had given her a very generous, she rents a condo just near me, and my mom's landlord had given a very generous 1-year notice that he was going to sell because they want to move out to Calgary to be closer to their daughter as they age. And so we're in the process of, my mom's going to be 89, and we're in the process of looking for a place. But 2 years ago here in Wasaga Beach, they built a new retirement home that can swing into assisted living if it needs to be. So that's where my mom went and my sister went looking the other day. And so June 15th, she's going to be moving into there, and everything's, and thank God she's got the income, to, I'm not going to be able to use that because I have to sew. Anyway, she's got the income that can take care of it, which is good. And she'll be moving in June 15th. So hopefully I'll be recovered from my surgery at that point, somewhat, to help. Okay, just still measuring. All right, so I have it clipped. Oh, hold on a second. Come on, guys, out. Come on, out. Okay. All right, I'm back. Had to kick them out. They're running all through that paper bag. All right, so I have it on here. I was hoping to kind of match these circles, and it's about 1 inch up from the bottom. So I'm going to stitch 1/8 of an inch all the way around the 3 sides, and then I'm going to stitch another row of stitching about 1/4 of an inch from that 1/8 of an inch line. and get that secured, and then the back will be done. Like this is quite a fairly fast bag to sew up. I made my daughter one, and I used the olive green wax canvas from Emmeline Bags, and she loves it. She just loves the bag. Okay, I'm just going to stitch that on, go down the bottom. But thanks everybody for being here on a Sunday afternoon, and weather must be nice, Barbie, if you're in the pool. We still have snow here, although it is melting, which is nice. Probably still have a foot left of snow. And I'm hoping the nice weather's going to come. But you know what's so nice? You can hear the birds out there just twitter-pating. I think that's what Bambi and Thumper said, that they were twitter-pating. It's spring out there, and all the Canada geese are back, squawking their heads off and hissing at everybody. Okay, so I've just done one row of stitching. Now I'm just going to, I want to make sure my phone's going to be okay in here. All right, yeah, so I'll do one more row of stitching, make sure. Hi, Sabrina and Terry. Just want to make sure that I see everybody. I think I've caught everybody. Say hi if you haven't. I like the romper room thing. Oh, come on, get in there. Yeah, this is, I probably didn't need to interface this pocket. It's pretty stiff, so I probably didn't need to interface it, because this is a fairly somewhat thick canvas with this fluffy, very sheddy velvet on it, but it's just so pretty. Let me go down. And you could put rivets on here, but I'm not going to. And I also forgot to mention, but you probably already saw, my hardware is all gunmetal. All right, so the back is now done, and the slip pocket is in, and it's a fairly stiff slip pocket. So we're just going to put all that aside for now. And I'm going to start working on the one lining, because I have already done this zipper pocket, and the lining for the zipper, for the actual pockets, is a thinner waterproof nylon from Sam Fabric. I love this. It's so pretty. So this one is really, really thin. It almost is like a windbreaker fabric. So this is going to be my pockets inside. Need that. And I've already done the one, because this bag I'm going to do a zipper pocket on either side. So there it is. That one side is already done. And you're going to need your interior zipper pocket piece and your zipper placket. And then there's a measurement in the pattern to measure down from the top of where to place it. And I've already put I tucked my Made in Canada label in the zipper placket. And I get those on Etsy, actually from the UK. Now, one of your short zippers, make sure that your zipper pull is on. All right, line that up so we don't have any bulges. Nah. Is this angle good for everybody? No, I've got a bulge. Yeah, the Sam Fabric, the linings are from Sam Fabric in Quebec. And like I said, I like the waterproof nylon, especially with the bonded PVC on the back, because then you don't have to interface anything, and it gives it has a nice stability to it as well, and it's still pretty flexible. All right, so I've got my zipper pull on, and I'm just going to burn the ends so they don't fray. Okay, now I've already taped my zipper placket cover. I've forgotten exactly what it's called at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stitch 1/8 of an inch all the way around the outer edge of it. And I'm going to pull my threads to the back, so I won't be back stitching. And get it lined up. I may have to stop and start to go around that curve. I can't control it. This does stick to your sewing machine bed, so just be aware of that. I have my stitch length right at the moment at a 2.5. I kind of like doing these zipper facings at a smaller stitch length. I'm having trouble sticking. Okay, I need my stylus so that I can pull the threads to the back of what I've sewn already. Okay, sewing's a little wonky, but so I hang on to my threads, and so that I don't get them mixed up with what I've already done, and then I just grab the back one and I pull it, grab the little loop, and then pull the top thread to the back, and then just grab them and tie them. I do a double knot in mine so that you don't, when you tie one half of a knot and it loosens up, well then this way when you tie a double knot into each hole, it doesn't do that. You have a more secure knot. Okay, now we have our zipper placket on right there. And just see if there's anybody else. Okay, we're good. All right, so I'm just going to take my scissors and we're going to snip down the center of, there it is, snip down the center, and we're going to cut that amount of material out. It's a little dark. Maybe that's a bit better. Get my light down so you can see a bit better. And hopefully you can't see the light. All right, we're just going to snip. Now, when I get to this point at the edge here, I just slide my scissors underneath the placket because you have all this room here. And I just slide the scissors underneath and snip to the other side underneath so that I don't snip the placket, kind of like that. And then flip it over, and then we're going to cut all of that out of the way. Just cut my sides. Just get that material out of the way. Just fold it back. Kind of cut it to where you've got your double-sided tape holding the placket on. Okay. Doesn't have to be pretty on the underside at all, as long as it's cut out like that. And it looks good on the right side, which is the important side. All right, just let me get to where I'm supposed to be in the pattern. Nope, that's not where I am. Okay, so we're going to build our zipper. And your fabric pieces, I've already marked the center of my zipper. And I do it on both sides in case for some reason I need to see it. So on the top side of your pocket lining, mark your centers on both pieces. I'm not worrying if there's a direction or not. Okay, take one of them, and then we're on the top part, we're going to lay double-sided tape across the top edge. Oops. And then we're going to take the top, we're going to have our zipper right side up. I have it closing to the left. Okay. And line up your centers with the right side of your pocket lining up and the right side of the zipper up. And just line up those top edges. And then we're just going to baste those on. I'm just basting them on at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, and then turn it this way, and with the right side, with the right side of your other lining facing up, we're going to put double-sided tape across the top edge again. Doesn't have to go all the way to the edge because our zippers aren't that long. And then take your right side of the zipper up. Now your zipper pull is heading to the right, and line up your center. So your two right sides of your pocket lining, or your zipper pocket lining, are facing right sides together. And my tape came off, of course. Doesn't want to stick to this nylon. Okay, and then we're just going to stitch across here. We're going to baste across again at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Popped off again. Okay. Make sure that that's stitched okay, because it had come off my thing there. Pull it tight. All right, so this is what we have so far. When you open up your zipper, you'll be looking inside, and you'll be looking into the right side of your pocket. So I'm going to orient that back so that I have my zipper pulling to the left. So it'll be closing to the left. And I'm going to put double-sided tape across the top and bottom edge of the zipper. Oops, get back there. It's a lot quieter with the kitties out of the way, not play fighting in front of me. just looking. I'm hoping I haven't. Okay. Take your double-sided tape backing off. No, sorry, that's not right. Fold your two pieces open so that your zipper is in the center and your pocket is open this way. So we still have the zipper pull heading to the left, and pull off the tape off the bottom. Oh, come on. It's the hardest thing, is getting the backing off the tape. Okay, then take your lining, your placket, and center that over top of your zipper. And I like to center the teeth in between these short ends. And when you get your teeth centered in between here and here, then the rest of it falls into place. Actually, I'm going to take the backing off the top part of the zipper as well. Okay, so we're going to line up our zipper pocket zipper in between the placket. Make sure I have the same amount of excess on either side. Yep, looks good. Squish that down on the double-sided tape because you have a bit of a ridge here from where you cut away the lining to the zipper. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to keep our lining, the pocket lining, open like this. And then we're going to start, and we're just going to sew the bottom. And we're going to pull the threads to the back and tie them off. Some double-sided tape there. Okay, so what we are going to do is start at this corner, about maybe one stitch outside of that edge, stitch all the way across the bottom of the zipper. Trying to see what I'm doing. I have my camera tilted down to the other side, and one stitch past that edge. And then we're going to tie our threads off. So right now we're only stitching the bottom part of the zipper pocket. At 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Oh, hold on, that didn't, I didn't get far enough back. Okay, try this again. There we go. And if your zipper pull, of course, is in the way, then make sure you pull that out of the way. And then when we get to the other end, it's basically one stitch past that edge, or the 1/8 of an inch. All right. And we're going to pull the threads to the back. So we just have the bottom sewn right now. And then I'm just going to tie off the threads. I love this thread, this 45 tex weight fusion nylon bonded. I hope they get more colors in an Emmeline bag that I bought. I already have the essentials. I have the dark brown, I've got the light blue, the navy blue, red, black, brown, and a burnt orange. I think I have 6 or 7. Oh, and plus I have a gorgeous plum as well, purple. Ugh. Okay. Perfect. All right, so this is what we have so far. I have just sewn the bottom edge. Now I'm going to flip my pocket lining down over top of the other one, and we're going to clip it down the sides. Just make sure your sides match up. Okay, and then we have this excess here, so I'm just going to trim that off. This is going to be, I closed up the other pocket that I had already done when I prepped everything. This is going to be the turning hole. So what we need to do is take some double-sided tape, put it along this edge and then this edge here, and we're going to turn these edges up to create the turning hole. I'm just using a 1/4 inch. Let's move that clip up a bit. And I'm just turning it up the 1/4 inch where the tape lies. And just flip it and then just do the same across the bottom here. I have to show you guys this. This has to be the best little holder ever. Barbie sent this to me, and of course, and it perfectly matches my room and the decor. Isn't that great? So in order to keep, so I have everything in here that I use, and in order to keep it stiff and firm, I have this blue, what it is, it's an old Tupperware butter keeper. We get butter here by the pound, and this is the lid. So I stuck it in, it fit perfectly, and it keeps everything organized, and everything that I need right on the spot is there. So thanks, Barbie, for that. All right, flip that up and fold your edges. Make sure they're even with the one on the other side. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put the needle in. Find it here. Oh, my tape didn't stick. Hold on. All right, let's hope this sticks. Should use 1/4 inch. Okay, so where we have ended the last stitch, I'm trying to see this. Then we're going to put the needle in here, and then we're going to go up the side, across the top, and then down the other side, and then end where that stitch is. And that will sew this part of the lining on. And that one side, it looks like I didn't get the right stitches in there, so I'll just add one more. So I'm just going to line up where my last stitch was. There we go. And sew across and okay. Pull the threads. My threads are probably too long. And tie them off. I can't wait to start using this bag because it'll be a great summer bag, springy summer, if it ever gets here. I feel bad for the birds that have come back. I can't even get into our shed yet because there's so much ice in front of our shed door to get at the bird seed to fill our feeders for these poor little starving things. And they're out there just chirping their little heads off, but it sounds wonderful. Okay, now we have that sewn on. And when you open it up, you will be looking into the right side of the pocket. So we have already our sides clipped and our bottom we're leaving open. So I'm just going to fold back this side. If there's double-sided tape when you fold this back, pull it off because you don't want that getting caught, first of all, in your needle, but also it can get stuck on your presser foot, your sewing bed. Okay. And I'm going to stitch down, just fold that back. And I'm going to start up here, just on the other side of the fold, go over the zipper teeth a couple of times, and then I'm just going to graduate out to a smaller seam allowance, about 1/4 of an inch all the way down, and then I will do the same on this side. More room, more zipper on the other side. Sometimes my machine doesn't like going over those zipper teeth, and the thread breaks. All right, it's behaving. Oh, I'm just looking. Nancy's saying that Simply Classic in the US also carries the Fusion 45 and 70. Wayback carries it too, but I don't know if it's this specific thread. And I've been trying to find, everybody raves about Kasaya's thread on Saya Swag. Of course, I could order it from the US, but it would just be too expensive for me to have it shipped with the exchange rate, the Canadian exchange versus US rate, and then possible tariffs and all that fun stuff. So I'm glad Emmeline Bag has this. Oop, I've lost my thread. There we go. Okay. All right. So our zipper pocket is now done, and both of them are done. Now, what we are going to do is adding our top zipper that has the zipper ends on both sides. Let me put the light here and see if that helps making a difference for when I show you guys stuff. I guess that's a little better because I think you can see me okay here. I have enough natural light coming in my windows. All right, let me just get to that pattern piece because we're not doing the back zipper. Okay. Okay, so the front exterior body piece, which is the one that I have my bag tag on. And be the same as any kind of zipper. I'm going to put the zipper tape across the zipper itself. I don't know how well it's going to stick to this fluffy stuff, but I'm going to put zipper or double-sided tape across the zipper part of it, both sides. And it doesn't matter which way this is oriented because I have the zipper pulls. I have the double zipper pulls that will close in the center. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm just going to take off the one edge, the bottom edge. And I'm going to move my zipper pulls out of the way, and I'm going to match my centers with the center that I already have marked on my exterior front piece and line those up. And then we're going to run double-sided tape right across the top edge and make a zipper sandwich and put the lining piece on. Right sides together with the exterior. Okay, so I'm just grabbing one of them. And we're putting that, line up our centers. Okay, and then we will sew that across at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Get myself up over that. Connector. It's pretty thick. I should have only done one layer. Oh well. And then follow along the zipper. Zipper piece out of the way. Right, I'm fiddling with this because I'm not very good using a hump jumper type of thing. I usually use my presser foot just to lift slightly to get over that hump. Okay, and now we are going to flip it and top stitch. I'm just going to, see my interfacing has gone well funny. Okay, I'm just going to clip these edges. Okay, and I'm going to increase my stitch length to a 4 for this top stitching. All right, so just make sure that your interior lining is pulled down, and I'm just going to top stitch right across here. Jeez. Stuff sheds. It's worse than the cat and dog hair and my hair, but it's so pretty. Come on, get over there. Something's sounding funny underneath there. I'll have to check. Oh, it's just I got caught. Okay. Just going to run the stitches across there. It just kind of seemed to go funny. It's not going, the top stitching isn't really going to be seen here because there's just too much fluff in the way. And then I'll just have to trim that one side, I think. Let's see. All right. Get your other exterior piece, which is the back. And right sides together. Take that paper backing off. Actually, I'll lay the exterior down and then line up my center on the zipper with the center on the exterior, and your two pieces are together. Lined up the centers. Okay. And then we're going to run double-sided tape right across the top there and then lay the lining down right sides together with the lining that's already here. How many do we have watching now? Well, we have 22. Yay! It's always the same crew, which is wonderful. But there's a lot of people that watch the lives afterwards, which is nice too. All right, so then I'm going to take the other lining piece that I've already done the zipper to, and I'm going to lay that right sides together. Match my centers. And then we're going to stitch across at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, flip it, and top stitch. And the zipper. It's getting heavy. This would make a good carry-on bag too. You know, if you're traveling, not a carry-on bag, but the purse that, I guess I don't travel, so I guess the purse that you can carry with you and have with you during your flight. Both the zippers, okay, because it holds a lot of stuff, and it's so convenient when you have it as a backpack too. Alrighty, and we're going to flip it and top stitch. So I'm going to put this down here. This is where it's going to be bulky for where we're going to attach our D-ring holders, D-ring connectors. because we will have double D-rings. And now if Ellie was here, no, I don't know that the ones that she sells on Sawdust and Stitches would work for this pattern. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. And we're going to top stitch. I'll pull that down. Getting caught. Well, this is going better than the last live. I seem to know what I'm doing. Oh. Yeah, I still have this material. I don't know that I would interface it the next time because it does make it stiff, and I prefer a slouchy bag. Like using that Mora with absolutely no interfacing is perfect if you want a slouchy bag. There we go. Okay. This is what we have. There's the back and the slip pocket. And then our front, hard to see. And I believe now we're going to attach everything down the sides at the seam allowance in the pattern. I just need a drink. Oh, Nancy, Ellie has on Sawdust and Stitches, Ellie sells a double D-ring connector. She showed them on one of her lives. I think maybe that she was doing with Barbie, but she sells a certain double D-ring connector, but I don't know. I think one of them is big enough as a regular D-ring, but the other one might be smaller, and it's more for, I think, if you're going to be attaching a grab handle, and then the smaller D-ring would be that's kind of sits inside the bigger one, and it's more for your swivel clasp to clip an adjustable strap. Okay, just like we did the front paddle, the padding and back tag. All right, I'm just seeing where I am right now. Okay. Now open up the zipper. I'm just going to move these zippers to the center that are on the interior. And we're going to line up all of our lining and all of our exterior. So, and then we're going to clip and we're going to sew. But what I want to do first is line up my exterior. And I'm going to line up these two top stitched edges and make sure that they're even on both sides. Now, in Lindsay's video for Lynn's Handmade, she has you putting double-sided tape here. These clips are really good that they hold in place so that you don't get those two seams out of alignment. Just clip down all your sides. For some reason, my top is bigger. And we're only going to sew down the sides. We're not sewing the bottom edges because we still have to put our bottom on. Just want to make sure that's lined up. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side of the exterior first. Line up those two seams. Put off the thread. Come on. Yeah, it's almost like, well, I think that this material, with the velvet on it, it's either like it could be like a upholstery or even a curtain fabric. So I probably didn't need the interfacing, but I thought I'd give it a try. Okay, so we've got the exterior, but something's not lining up here. The bottom I didn't cut properly. It's okay. It's not lining up. Okay, and then we're going to clip our lining together. I'm trying to keep this in camera, and I really don't have a very big desk. Excuse me. Time for a drink of water. Yeah, this lining is a little longer on one piece. Make sure I have my zippers going the right way. Yeah. Just have to make sure. Oh boy. Oh well. Okay. Just that way. Okay. Here we have it all clipped together. It's pretty bulgy here where the holes are. Keep them away from the sides. Pull that down a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch. Where am I? I'm going to stitch all the way up the sides and both sides. Now, do I have to make a bigger seam allowance on the lining? Sew the sides, leaving both bottoms and sew press the seams open. Return with the double side tape. Okay. So they get sewn at the seam allowance in the pattern, and I want to mark that here so I can keep it consistent. How's the pool, Barbie? Keep stuff out of the way. This is getting too big. Okay, I'm just going to go just back stitch over top of those seams. And I am a slow sewer, or more of a methodical sewer. Yeah, this is sticking to my bed, this PVC backing. And my window's right here, everything gets sewn up against, so it gets a little bit of a backlog here. All right, one side down. So garbage over here, and then we'll do the other side. Oh my goodness, it's jammed up against the window. All right, the sides are sewn. And then we're going to take, I know that this is sitting, doesn't seem to be straight. Move some of my stuff out of the way because I have a desk going on the other side here, but that's where my camera is. Okay. Just have to turn that off. Didn't line up properly. Okay, so we're going to take the base lining piece. And I've already marked all my centers, so there's the base. I didn't do any interfacing or whatever. This is big too. All right, so I'm just going to, I'm going to put double-sided tape around the edge first to make sure it doesn't move. And I'm going to use 1/4 of an inch because that'll give me a better hold. Especially since it's a larger seam allowance that she has in the pattern. I'll baste it on first. I'll see how it goes if I have to baste first versus just sewing it. Quarter of an inch might be too big. Those little fibers are getting into my nose. Hi, Donna. Okay. Take the backing off. Okay, then just line up your centers with the right side of your base into the right side of your bag. And I'm still going to clip, even though I have double-sided tape here, but I'm still going to clip. See if the double-sided tape will hold first. And just clip around. I'm going to clip across the straight edges on the top and the bottom first because we will have to clip in, we will have to snip into our gusset. keep dropping. Other fingers today. Okay. It's all sticky. Okay, line up. The center's there. Double-sided tape does not want to hold. Okay, I'm just going to open up these seam allowances. And I'm just going to use a little bit of duct tape to hold the seam, the side seam allowances open so that ouch, that they'll stay splayed open. Just here. It's hard to see because it's black. But that will help reduce the bulk. Do it on the other side, and then we'll have to still do it on the main material, the main exterior. Just finger press those on the lining anyways, those side seams, because they can be finger pressed. Should have made the tape longer. Okay. And then I'm just going to snip into this part of the lining, just about 1/4 of an inch snip in, just so I can get those, get it around those curves. And I'll do it on all sides. So we'll just match up your center seam, the center seam that I just taped down, it won't stay taped down. Match it up with your center mark on your bottom panel and clip that into place. And then work your bottom oval into that where we've clipped it and ease that in. And it goes in really nice, but we will still be clipping. Okay, and on the other side as well. This is what takes the time, is clipping. When I do my videos, I tend to edit all that stuff out. So you guys don't have to sit. Everybody knows how to clip. Everybody knows how to snip. Okay, and flip it around and do the same on this side. Snip into those straight edges. It worked fairly well, almost without the snips, to get the to get that bottom fit in. Okay, one more corner to snip and clip, and we'll sew it. So thanks everybody so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping maybe to get at least one, maybe two more lives in before April 2nd for when I have my surgery. We have 28 watching. That's awesome. So yeah, so the surgery will be on April 2nd, Holy Thursday. I had my pre-op appointment at the hospital in Barrie last week, a couple of days ago, because when I met with the surgeon, he said that the surgery would be laparoscopic. I thought, okay, well, that's pretty good. He took my gallbladder out 2 years ago, exactly now. And he said it would be laparoscopic, but everybody that was, they said they're not going to contradict what the surgeon told me, but they said that anything that they've seen that's this large of a hernia, it's been an incision from the belly button up into my stomach. So I'll find out what's going to happen on that day, because I may need an epidural as well. And I'll find out. I know I'm staying one night in the hospital at least for observation. And we'll find out from there. But it's going to be a bit of a recovery. Okay, so I have everything clipped and I'm going to sew it all at the seam allowance in the pattern. The clips out of the way. I'll just be so glad to get it done. I can't take the Wegovy. Last week, almost 2 weeks ago now, was my last injection, because they don't want you to have it for about 3 weeks prior to surgery, because it does something to your stomach. I don't know. Anyways, or else I would have had to been, apparently the food doesn't come out of your body as well as it should, and I've already found that out. And they said I'd have to be on clear fluids if I was still taking the Wegovy, but I will resume taking it after the surgery. All right, we're just going around that base, sewing everything. And I am sewing at the seam allowance. I'm not basting it on and then sewing it. I think in the pattern she does have that you do one round of stitching, and possibly for the exterior, but one round of stitching and then do another round of stitching inside the first stitching. But I'm not doing that on the lining anyways. So my challenge is going to be, because Murphy's going to be 4 years old at the end of May, and he's just like the happiest little puppy, the forever puppy, which is great. But he's bouncy. That's the 9% Jack Russell in his DNA, and he's bouncy like Tigger, and he does like cuddling with me, and he does like leaning up against that and using the hernia as a pillow. So he's not going to be snuggling with me, so I have to start training him now to he knows how to be gentle, but sometimes he can get a little silly and a little rambunctious, because he is a terrier cross with a bazillion different kinds of terriers. All right, I have done now the base of the lining, and I'm just going to trim all of that away. Trim it down to 1/4 of an inch. We don't need all of that seam allowance getting in our way. I'm just going to open my window a bit. I'm warm in here with the door closed. There, I had to just open that because it's still cool outside, but it's getting warm in here, and I've got the door closed so that the 2 fur kid badoinks don't come in here and start roughhousing again with each other. They're so funny because Frankie, she instigates everything with Murphy. So, like, she'll start rubbing against him and being all lovey-dovey with them, and then all of a sudden, boom, she bites them, and then they start roughhousing. Okay, been on for just a little under an hour and a half. Okay, that's done, and now we're going to just rinse and repeat for the exterior. So I have already, like I said, I've already made my base, and I put my purse feet on. I've attached the strap as well. And of course, one of the hints that she gives is to tie your strap so it's out of the way. And I'll put double-sided tape around this as well, because that really does help. And it will stick better to my vinyl. And this is vinyl. this blue is vinyl. It's not nylon. Keep my strap straight there. I'm just reading, trying to see what everybody's saying. Maybe there'll be a little time people will want to have a little chit chat after. We'll see. Okay. I'm just looking at, and Catherine says she has a Scotty dog, Maisie. And Catherine's in the process of writing a pattern called the Maisie, I think the Maisie wallet or something like that. She sells a lot of them. It's her own pattern. I'm waiting for her to get the pattern to me so that maybe we can do a live sew together and she can show everybody how it's done. Oh, come on, tape. There we go. So make sure that stays on. Okay. All right, I'm just going to take half of it off for now, and then I'll worry about the other half. Okay, so the same as what we did before, we're just going to put right sides together. So put your base inside, right sides together, line up your center marks, and clip your brains out. That's what I tell everybody I do. They said, oh, what do you do all day? And I said, I sew my brains out, literally. But I do love it because it is it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and I love jigsaw puzzles anyways. Oh, there's such braid material. And making bags is like the working on jigsaw puzzles. Oh, I have to tell you guys. Okay, so here's another story. So, you know, I did the CherAnn Bestie bag as my own pattern, which, Nancy, if you could link my pattern, please. It's on www.360handmadebags.com, and you click on the pattern link and click on the CherAnn Bestie bag, and it's there. Just to let you know that you will see it is $15, but because I'm in Canada, all my prices are in Canadian dollars. But that equates to approximately $11, maybe slightly under $11 US. It depends on what the currency rate is at that moment in time, because it does fluctuate all day long. So anyways, I had my CherAnn Bestie bag with me at the hospital. This is the one that I did on my own. Barbie and I did it together. And then I did this one on my own, live on my channel a couple of weeks ago. And this is pink, ballerina pink leather from Tandy. So all of a sudden I had people noticing this bag when I was at the hospital. And I gave out so many business cards, I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely thrilled. You know, I showed them the inside, and Excuse me. But I can't believe how many people noticed this bag. So I'm really thrilled about that. And like I said, I gave out many of my business cards, and I met a quilter. We started talking sewing machines, and then she got called in for her pre-op test. Anyhow, that's the CherAnn Bestie bag, named after my best friend Cheryl from high school. All righty, back to clipping this. Oh, there goes my tape coming off. We'll clip the rest of this on. Okay. And then we'll have to snip those sides as well, so it can all fit in. But this really frays, like it's really frays. So I will be doing 2 rounds of stitching on this, just to be on this, just to be on the safe side. And I'll trim. I might not even trim down the seam allowance, just because of the fact that it frays so much, and it sheds like. I need a drink from. Okay. And then I'm going to line up my seams at the side with the side center mark. Actually, this base is fitting in pretty good without me having to snip it. Well, that's great. That's handy. Okay, and we'll do this one. Okay, that's perfect, and I'm not going to have to snip. I think this exterior fabric has enough stretch in it in certain spots that I can get it around the base. I'm getting excited because I absolutely love this fabric and the colors. Oh, so calming. Squish it down. Oh, there's a crow. We usually hear them. They usually go crazy around here, the crows and the ravens, when it's going to rain. Not that we're kind of in the any rain type season right yet, because it's still, I think technically it's spring now, but it, we had snow this morning, a little dusting. I don't have to snip. That is great. That's a bonus. Okay, and then this last corner to get around. Bags falling everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to sew around the perimeter. I'm going to sew all of that, and then I'm going to do another. I'm going to sew it at the seam allowance in the pattern, and then I'm going to come in and in between the raw edge and what I've stitched, and do another row of stitching, only because of the fact that this frays so much. At least the bag can stand up while I sew it. Holy smokes, it's stiff. Okay. Just go slowly around those curves. Squish your bag. you have any puckers, lift your presser foot and kind of move them out of the way. Mine is so stiff with this interfacing. I definitely will not use it on this fabric. If, you know, unless I really, I mean, I used it on Barbie's Genie's Genie bag because I wanted it to have a really firm structure to it. And I also use the by Annie Sew-In, you know, soft and stable foam in it as well for the exterior panels. Halfway on the first stitch line. Just getting all these clips out, stopping and pulling them out. I saw on Facebook this morning, it was on a Maine Coon Facebook group. I don't know. I don't follow it, but it just popped up on my feed. And somebody had just got a cat. It was the first time they'd had a cat. And they said, can anybody give me any suggestions on how to keep the cat off the counter? I'm trying and I'm doing all different kinds of things. I've done tinfoil, I've done baking dishes, I've done this, I've done that. And I looked at all the responses. There was probably a couple of hundred responses. I didn't read them all, but you know, when you read through, when you see the first 100 and everybody said, get used to it. Everybody said the same thing. Cats rule, and they let you know what they're going to do. And I had to laugh because, you know, we've had cats for years, and unless you spend your whole time yelling at them to get off the counter, it's almost hard. But I just had to laugh because everybody had the same response. Get used to it. Wipe off your counters all the time. You're going to be cleaning them all the time. Okay, I've done my first set of stitching and I'm just going to go and do another set. I'm just going to increase my stitch length on this one, just so it won't take as long. Oops. That, okay. I just want to secure this only because of the fact that it's it just frays so much. So if my machine had a zigzag, I could zigzag it. Anyways, I'm sure all of us cat owners all know. And we have, of course, Frankie. Her and Murphy are the same age. They're both 4, almost 4. And then we have Bailey. She's our 13-year-old short-haired domestic tabby. But she's going to be 14 this year. And I think I've mentioned this before, but when we got her, like her arms, her legs, front and back, are striped, and her body is spotted. And when the vet first saw her, when we brought her in, the neighbor found her on New Year's Eve in the middle of a snowstorm, almost frozen to the road, when she was just a wee kitten, and she was only like probably 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks old. So she could have been a barn cat. So we took her right away, of course. Jim's the cat whisperer. They all go to him. Anyhow, she has spots all over her side, and her arms and legs are striped. So the vet says, oh, she's she's a Stars and Stripes cat. She must be from the US. Okay. It's sewn. So now, oh, I have to find the pocket that is not sewn. Make sure you open up that and open up your zippers now. Okay, and then we're going to pull everything through that little tiny pocket hole. And hopefully my thumbs will behave with the arthritis in them. Birthing bags take some time. Just squish it and pull. It's like a banana, peeling a banana. All right, let's get the strap out of there. I've got to work that interfacing in there somehow and get it all squished. We're getting there. I really love these colors. Aren't they pretty? Oh. Hair dryer time, yeah. Except for there's really no faux leather to birth. Okay, let's pop out all of our bottom. Check something. Yeah, okay. So we're popping all the bottom out. Perfect. And popping out. Oh, this is going to be such a nice bag. Oops, got some frayed material here. I'll have to really check afterwards and check all the seams and that for these, for any frays sticking out. I'll fix that. Oh, I guess my string fell off. That I had the straps all tied together. That's okay. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, shoot. Yeah, look at the frayed stitches sticking out there. Where's my lighter? There it is. Not stitches, but threads. Okay. It's just that fabric. It's just so... Okay. This is really nice. And what I'm going to do afterwards to train it, to give it the slouch, like I didn't have to do any training with that Mora faux leather because it's just so soft and pliable, is I'm going to put some heavy stuff in here and then hang it when the tassels are done. Okay, so one thing. Oops, I missed a spot. Nope, wrong pocket. That's the one. That one down. So let's seam up. Okay, now we have to work these holes that are in the side here. I'm not sealing up that zipper pocket yet. I'm just going to put the lining inside because we still have to top stitch. Oh, we are already top stitched, sorry. I'm just going to lay it all in, and then when everything's all done, then I'll pull the zipper at the end. I'll pull the zipper pocket out. I just want to make sure everything's in there laying flat. Make sure my zipper pocket's laying flat. And it looks boxy right now, but as soon as you get things in it and get that slouch made, it'll be a really nice looking hobo bag. So this is where these ends, this is where the D-ring connectors are going to go. So just let me do my zipper up a touch and then kind of pop those out, because we have to get our D-ring connector to fit in there. And I did keep my interfacing out of the seam allowance. But this is where it's going to be pretty thick. Okay, I don't know how well that's going to go. Oh, thanks, Barbie. It's the same as your genie bag. Right there. If Barbie or Nancy, if you're able to link Barbie's pattern as well, that would be great. But there's the genie bag that I did as a tester. So it's the same fabric, and then link my pattern again. Might as well help support everybody. But that is not popping out that corner. Okay, where's my zipper? Get in there, the zipper. This is what takes the time, is popping all the edges out, especially where these D-ring connectors have to go. They don't want to flatten. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I have to have a little fold for where I put the D-ring connector in. It's just going to have a little fold here. This should be flat and in line with the stitching, but I think I'm going to have to thanks a lot there, Lindiana. But it's yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is just put a little bit of a fold in there, and then that's where I'll attach my D-ring connectors. Okay, so we're going to do that now. Where did I put them? And then we have the strap to do and the tassel. Okay, here's my pen. I hope I'll be able to see that. Okay, so there's on the pattern piece, there's landmark spots where you line up. This horizontal line is where you line it up along the top edge of that end. And then this vertical line is you line it up along the seam, the side seam. And I've already made those marks on my D-ring connector. And that's the right side. Of course, the wrong side, I have it, the threads pulled back. So I've already got those marks on here. It's pretty thick. And get that pulled out. See if I can work that. Oh, here it comes. I think here it comes. Here it comes. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to line up those marks and then mark my D-ring holes. And I hope that they go through, that I can see them. You can see one. There, okay, try to get through all this fluff to make these holes, hole marks. I'll do the other side. See if I can that up a bit better. This is pretty thick at these ends here, but there'll be a slouch there, so you're not going to see them. And I'll mark my rivet hole marks. And punch them. And I'm going to use fray check because of the fact that this is, of course, fabric that will fray. Get this in here okay. Here we go. And the other side for the holes. Oops, the pin in my fray check so it doesn't dry up. Okay, I'm just going to put some fray check on those holes on the exterior. I don't think I'll be able to get in there. And just in case anybody, I got this is it's a Dritz fray check, but it's unscented, and I got this on Amazon. And it came in a 2-pack, and it's been a lifesaver for me because I do have a scent allergy. Okay, so we got our D-rings and our rivets. Okay, so our D-ring connectors feed your two D-rings on to your D-ring connector. So you're going to have a bit of bulk here because you have 2 lined up. And then I'm going to take my post rivets. I'm going to see if these are long enough, first of all, and pop them into the holes that you just made on the exterior part. Make sure they go through. Can't see. Sorry, I have to do it this way. I'll have to take the D-rings off so they don't fall, first of all. Can't see my holes now. Let's just stop here and put it on fast forward. Okay. Oh my goodness. Because you can't connect these until we get the whole thing together. There's the hole. Sometimes my punch doesn't like going through the waterproof nylon when I do the rivets. Okay, I'm going to need longer posts. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. So I know I have very long posts that are silver backing, and I'll put those on the inside so that you can't see the silver. And then I'll put the stud on the outside. Okay, put the long posts through, and I'll feed them from the inside this time. Of course, if this was a video, none of you guys would see any of this. Here's my holes. Just make sure the holes are big enough. Okay. Oh my goodness. Sorry if you can't see. I'm just trying to see what I'm doing too. I'm trying to get it through these holes on the inside. It doesn't want to feed through. Okay. Is everybody okay to still stay, or do you want to continue this another time? Let me know. I just can't seem to get them through the holes. They don't want to fit. Use a bigger hole. Okay, I'm going to have to punch them again with a bigger hole so I can try and get them through. It's trying to get them through the nylon at the back. Sometimes, like I said, it doesn't want to punch through. Oh my goodness. Okay, that sounded like it went through. Trying to get this in here. Thanks, Nicole. As long as you guys don't mind hanging out while I fiddle farting around with this stuff, because it's just, it gets frustrating when you're trying to do stuff and it just doesn't want to work. Maybe that's not the nicest thing to say, fiddle fart, but what the heck. Come on, guys. There. Okay. Good grief. Okay. Let's try pushing this in through this side again with the bigger holes. It's just part of the process, yeah. Oh boy, thanks, Barb. Thanks, guys. Now I can't find my holes. Ah! Good grief. Pull the D-ring connector through. Try and find where these silly holes are. Okay, pop the rivet through that, through the hole. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's one. I'm putting the cap on just so I don't lose it. It's not being set. I'm just putting it on there, and I'll pop the other rivet. And this is only the first one. Oh, for crying out loud. It just came off. And I can't set them until I get the D-ring connectors on. D-rings. Okay. Grapes, by the time I get these popped through, the whole fabric's going to be shredded. It's not going through, guys. Okay. Just doesn't want to find its way through. Try this again. I think for time's sakes, I'm not going to do the tassel. I'll do that off camera. Come on. This is crazy. Make sure you don't cut your zipper too long when you do that, when you make this bag, because if it's cut too long, you don't have as big of a hole to feed these D-ring connectors through. And it's so bulky here too, that's the problem. And I should have smashed it or hammered it or something, but okay, got one through. I'm going to set that so I don't lose it, but I'm putting the D-ring connectors on first. Or putting the D-rings on, and then I'm going to set that one rivet. One rivet, guys. Oh, Barbie says to do the tassel. Okay. Okay, Barbie. And you can always watch the replay. All right, we've got one top and one bottom. And I'm just going to set it over here where my rivet press is. Now I've got to get that into here. And not lose anything. Get it seated into the little thingamabobber. Okay. All right, one set. Yay! All right, we got one rivet set. Let's try for another. See if we can do this faster. Is that the hole? Just have to try and find where the hole is to get it through. All right, hold on a second. Let me take this. Work this stylus through. And it went right through the hole I punched. See if I can follow the same route with my rivet. doesn't want to go in there. I'm fighting with the seams to try and get past those seams is what it is. I'm trying to get that hole where I punched it through the exterior with the post. We're almost there. Just trying to feel my way over, getting it over there. Oh, goodness. Can't find the rivet now. Holy smokes. Hold, please, as Barbie says. Yeah, I'll see if I can go through the pocket. And good idea, Nancy. Yeah, see, it's so tight in there. I can't get my hand in there. My hands aren't the smallest in the world, so. It's just off from where the hole is, the post, and then it keeps slipping. All right, let me poke it through on this side like I did on the other side and see if I can follow it through. Follow it through to the hole. There's the hole. Oh, come on, fingers. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's just so frustrating. Just breathe. Thanks. The post keeps sliding up inside where it's not supposed to go. And I'm trying to fight with it to get back down. And I have to do this all over again for the other side. Okay, come on, get through there. This was going to be the live that went off without a hitch. That's why I haven't done too many lives. It's easier to record and edit all this frustration out. It's popped out again. It's falling out of the holes. There's so many holes in this side. It's going to be my bag because I can't sell it with all these holes. Okay, there's a hole. if I don't get that lining underneath clipped or the hole in it, and this is dark lining, so it's hard to see, then it's going to be very difficult to poke this through. And I just poked it through, and I'm going to put some Beacon Fabri-Tac around all that area because the D-ring will cover it, just to kind of make sure that it doesn't fray. Put the D-ring connector hole over top. Yay! I'm human for sure. I haven't sworn yet though. So, all right, we've got one connector on. I'm going to set that rivet, hoping nothing pops off. Okay. All righty. We have one D-ring connector on. Now let's do all this all over again on the other side. I want to make sure that those holes pop through because, here's my stylus. That was the problem, that the holes didn't pop through the lining, and I want to make sure that I have big enough holes on the lining side. Okay, let's do this all over again. Okay. Go through, oops, go through the hole. Yeah, definitely having a bigger hole there would have helped a lot. And I've got to use, I went and bought one of those hole punch, your punch sharpeners that Barbie and Lori were enabling everybody with. And I haven't used it yet, so clearly I need to use it because it is hard to punch through this nylon with the PVC backing, or at least with my punch it is. Okay, and of course my rivet holes are too small. Try and find the holes. If I can find both of them at the same time, I'll put both rivets in. See if I can feed them through at the same time. Okay. Got Frankie on the other side of my door playing with something, getting into something. Let's see if I can get them through. To do one at a time. All right, there's one hole. I don't know if you can hear her batting something around and chasing it, but she's having a good old time. Yay, one's gone through. Okay, we'll put the D-ring connectors on, or the D-rings on. Okay. Feed that through and the cap on, and I will set this one. Oh, don't lose it. Okay. And we're going to set that one rivet. Keep it safe. All right, the last rivet. This one went faster, so that's a good thing. Yeah, I have the Japanese one too, Nancy, and it's not that. It's the fact that I couldn't see my holes on the inside because number one, the lining's dark, and number two, nothing was punching through the lining because and I have to be more conscious of that to make sure that it will punch through. Come on, perfect. At least this side won't be as mangled. All right, I'm just trying to find where my hole is on this side. Push my stylus through and follow that hole. There we go. All right, and then I will pop the rivet through now that it's all lined up. Yeah, I really do like the Japanese hole punch as well. But which is what I used on my D-ring connectors. And then trying to find the holes through this fluffy stuff too, but okay, maybe we can get that to pop through now. Come on, baby. Oh, it's getting caught on there. It's getting stuck underneath the strap connector. Get under there. Get under that hole. Ugh. There. Yay! Let me get some glue just to seal some of that. All right, pop that on over the hole. Ouch. My fingers aren't working well today anyway, so sometimes I get a bit of arthritis. Okay, yay, it's popped through. One more to set and we're done. I want to lose that cap. I'm not deleting this. Trying to get around those zippers. I guess this is where a hammer and an anvil will come in handy. Okay. Woohoo! Hallelujah! Oh boy. Move everything out of the way. Okay, yay, we've got the D-ring connectors on. And they're not like, as perfect as they would have been, but okay, so doing the strap, because of course I'm just going to raise that up a bit and see if you can see it better back here. So the strap is the magic strap, as she calls it. And there's a certain way to thread it. through the D-ring connectors, and it is, okay, so to make the strap, thread one loose end through both D-rings on that same side. So we're going to, let me just raise this up. There we go. Okay. Get a little closer. Okay, so this is the front of the bag. So this strap on that side of the bag, make sure I don't have the wrong one. Make sure it's not twisted. Feed this end through the two D-rings. And wrap it around the first D-ring on the opposite side. So this one, the one that's closest to you. And then lighter. And then we're just going to clip them at the moment just to make sure. And I'm going to rivet them in. So I'm just going to turn it over an inch and then I'm going to clip it. And that way that'll give us an idea if our straps are even, first of all. And honestly, that's the riveting will be better. Okay, then take the opposite loose strap, make sure it's straight, and thread it through the top D-ring on the same side. So this one. Burn the threads. Okay, so it'll be on that outside ring and bring it through. Thread it through the top D-ring and wrap it around the front D-ring on the opposite side. So it'll go through the one that's on the inside. And then we'll fold it over about an inch and then clip it. And then I'll see how the straps are and make sure that I did it right and that they work. So the straps will go, let's do it up. Okay, so the straps go like this. And you want to make sure that they're even when you hang it. That's so pretty. I love this. I love it. Oh my. Okay, they are even, because then when you take the sides and pull them, I'm not pulling tight, then you have your backpack. Just like that. That is great. Okay, we are doing rivets, guys. More rivets. All right, what have I got here? I still have some rivets here that are the right color. And get the caps, and I'll probably put 2 rivets on each strap end. All right, let's just take this. What have I got on here? Oh, I just did one rivet. So I'll just do 1 rivet here on each strap. I'm just going to make sure that my ends are lined up. And I'm going to put my punch underneath everything. Okay. And I want to make sure I'm back at the smaller hole because I switched that up. Okay, I'm just punching a hole. I'm just eyeballing where my hole is going to go. As long as it's all through those layers. Pop my rivet in. Cap. And I'm going to set it now so I don't lose it. Okay, that's 1 down. Well, those are easy rivets to do. Oh boy. I was going to do strap ends, but for time's sake, I'm not. Just turning them under is good. And, eyeballing it with the rivet. Okay, and set that one too. Okay, everything is done. Our strap is done. Doesn't that look great? But when we get it slouched, so I'm just going to put it aside for now, and we're going to work on the tassel. So I have already done one tassel. Now these tassels I got from Waywack, and they have the swivel. It's like a little 1/2-inch circle swivel connector, depending on the length of them. I mean, if I had decent needle nose pliers. Hi, Brenna. Yeah, I'm still live. Had some problems getting those rivets into the strap connectors, the D-ring connectors. All right, so a lot of times I undo this large link and pull this off because they can be too long, but I do like the length of them on this particular bag to hang down. It gives it a bit more of a feature. So I've already made it with the vinyl, the contrasting vinyl. So as I said when I first started, when I cut my fabric that I'm going to use to make the strap and make my little hula skirt, I just start with my 6x6 ruler and I just cut a square, and then I cut, there's no measuring, I mark on the back side a 1/2 inch down from the top and put double-sided tape across the top. But also when I do my slits with my rotary cutter, I approximate maybe 1/8 of an inch. They're not all even. It doesn't matter. So what we do is, now this is not going to fit. I know it's going to be too big, but I pull the backing off the double-sided tape, and then I start making a jelly roll tight. Really, really roll this in tight. Getting close here. When you roll it in, make sure that this is level and flush and that it doesn't stick out. So I'm going to just move you down a bit so you can see it better. There, now I can see what I'm doing. And just roll it tight. I know I'm probably going to have to cut about 1 inch, but roll it tight. When I made the other one, you know, like you could probably get away with a 5x6 length. I'm just going to cut this length off, probably about 1 inch, 2 inches, because I know that that's how much I always wind up cutting off. And then I'm going to take my tassel and dry fit it, and it's still too big, so I'm going to cut 2 more fringes off. That's why I said, like, you know, you could probably get away with even 3x6, depending on how thick your vinyl is. So that's still too thick. And I will take off 1 more. It's the beauty of the fringes. You can kind of take them off as you need them. Okay, that's better. So this is how much I wound up cutting off. A good 2 inches. So that's a 6x6. So even if I did a 4, you know, like a 4x6, if I can remember that the next time. All right, so take your Fabri-Tac glue, and I put a drop or 2. Oh, I have my my screw in here already. Okay, so take your Fabri-Tac or glue or whatever, and I just put a drop or 2 in the bottom, and that will help set the tassel. And then stick your tassel into the hole, twisting as you put it in, and that glue will help squish it in too and get all in there. And the glue, and of course, it's now coming out of the hole, which is normal. And the glue will help to hold the rivet in. And then take your little screw and screw that into the hole. You might want to take your stylus or your awl and pop a hole into that, a starter hole right into that screw hole, and that will help your screw go in. What takes the time to do the tassels is cutting the strips. Doing this part. Okay, thanks, Barbie, for saying to do it. All right, that is in. And our tassel is done. And it's all, you know, it's all folded. It's got kinks in it, but that'll come out. So here we go to finish off the bag. Okay, let me move you guys up so you can see me. Yay! I guess on a live, there's always something that happens. So, all right, I'm just going to clip my tassels onto my zipper pulls, because this does give a really nice look to them. And there is our Lynn's Handmade Krystal Convertible. Isn't that pretty? I love this, and I haven't even put anything in it yet, but there's the bottom. Now, clearly I missed the measuring with my feet, but nobody's going to see it. And what I'm going to do afterwards, because of the trouble I had with these D-ring connectors, I'm going to go in there afterwards if I can and put some Beacon Fabri-Tac underneath just to help secure things. But thanks for sticking with me, guys. But oh my goodness, I love this bag. I love the colors. It is a little stiff for my liking, but it will work its way into more of a hobo. I do love a hobo bag. And yes, definitely, if you do the double zipper pulls in the center, make sure that your bag tag is off to the side and not in the center like my first bag where your tassels are going to cover it. Just there in the center. So that's the very first one that I made. And it's got quite a bit of use. Sorry, I've got everything falling behind me. And of course, this is my Jeannie bag by Jeannie's Designs, tester bag of her pattern. And yeah, so look at this. All right, and the phone. All right, so my phone fits in the back, which is all I wanted in the back. I love access to my phone really, really fast. So it's protected actually with this thicker slip pocket that I interfaced. It gives a bit of cushioning. So, but this is so pretty. I love this fabric. If Walmart has more of it, then I'm going to get it. So there, this is my new bag. But look at that. So when I get stuff in it, because when I made the Jeannie bag, I also made, well, I made it for me, the necessary clutch wallet, which there is a tutorial as well. And I made it out of the same fabric. So that's what's going to go in this bag as my wallet. And I still have to, so before I forget, I still have to sew up that zipper pocket, but just the bag, the wallet's inside, and that'll put some weight in the bottom. And look at that. I love the look of this bag, and I love the colors. And then if I want to make it into a backpack, just pull that easy on. Can you see? I'll have to wait for the computer to catch up. But there's the backpack. I'm watching the computer. So there it is. I love this bag. Thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out with me while we made the Lynn's handmade Krystal convertible. And don't forget my CherAnn Bestie bag pattern at www.360handmadebags.com. Click on the pattern link, and then the bag's there. Like, it'll be approximately $11 or slightly less, depending on the currency rate exchange for that moment of the day, US, and it's $15 Canadian. So this one I did in this kind of ballerina pink leather. And like I said, when I was at my pre-op appointment at the hospital a couple of days ago, this bag got noticed. I was really, really surprised. I don't typically use gold hardware, but I'm going to get some gold hardware to start using on my bags now, because I think that also elevates it. But all right, let me see what the comments are. I don't want to miss anything. Oh, thanks, guys. Makes me think of the 70s. Yeah. I love hobo bags. I always have. Do you remember the bags that were out in the 70s? And they had the wooden handle that was like an oval and the cutout in the center. And then it was like a patchwork leather bag. I had one of those. So, oh, hi, Betty. You sent me a message in YouTube. Okay. I've never, yeah. So Betty M of the Sky. Okay, nice. All right. And so anyways, oh, thanks, Nicole, and thanks, Kathy. You'll be selling it, Kathy says. I don't know. I like this because I do like this fabric, and I do love this bag. It's such a handy bag to have. But anyways, thank you. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me and making the Krystal convertible from Lynn's Handmade. And I'll let you go now because we've been live for, well, 2.5 hours. And if you're into curling, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on TSN1 is the women's gold medal game for curling. And of course, Canada is playing against Sweden, if you're into curling. But all right. Thanks, Barbie, for being here. Thanks, Brenna. Thanks, Nancy and Nicole and Catherine and Kathy and Lindiana and everybody. I'm going to get me one of those. I'm going to get something that looks like the romper room mirror without the mirror. So someday I'm going to have that and hold it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks, Nicole. That's great. Anyways, and I'm hoping to do another live, hopefully with no glitches, or maybe 1 or 2 before I have my surgery on April 2nd. And I do have a lot of little short how-to videos that I have already ready to go just to publish live on YouTube when I'm in recovery. So, and then at the same time, while I'm in recovery, we'll be moving my mom, who's going to be 89 in July, and she's moving into a retirement home and whatever. So lots happening on my end as usual. All right, guys, thanks so much and take care. And thanks a lot for being here, and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. All right. Bye.